Hello, good afternoon, guys. This is Nikhil Gupta, and I want to represent my paper on impact of cryptography on captcha, big data, attacks, and Bluetooth with privacy and mitigation in concern. So let's go with the abstract of my paper. In an IT industry, most of the security is backed by cryptographic algorithms. Cryptographic algorithms are the main reasons which where we feel our communication secure. One of the most important principle of the cryptographic is CIA triad, where C stands for confidentiality, I stands for integrity, and A stands for availability. uh, Apart from the six papers which I have, which the professor gave us, one of the paper consists of a software name called Trilogger or a tool. Trilogger is an open source tool to detect the misuse of cryptographic dynamically. It consists of a logger and a checker. It was analyzed and resulted to a good performance for n number of applications on the Play Store. Another paper is referred to an COVID-19 impact, where COVID-19 hit the era with a sudden change of disruption from the offline mode to the online mode, with many sudden equivalent changes to both education giver and education taker. Large burial of data can be handled from the different language models. It is one of the third paper where I'm going to discuss the data handling of large billions of data. One of my fourth paper is regarding MIA and SMT are the two major standards for securing an email connection. Here we are going to talk about the email clients, a variety of countermeasures that are partially effective and causes a problem of interoperability. Advanced captcha is one of the second last research paper where I read about and captcha generation system which can defend against the captcha solver of deep learning program. The last paper, but not the least, is the cyborg paper, which is a definitely the very beautiful paper regarding the Bluetooth connection, uh, where Bluetooth cannot be how the Bluetooth is connected and affiliated with the real world scenarios and securities to disrupt the malware related to the Bluetooth and its connectivity. A small change of protocol can lead to the stronger disruption or a stronger lead to the security. So let's start with the introduction to the paper. So, first of all, the first paper where the private key was extracted by exploiting to the open SSL bug. The Android app trusted by the Google Play Store. I mean the Crylogger paper, in which the Android apps were still contain a flaw which can be misused. One of the tools implemented by the author Crylogger to detect the misuse of cryptography dynamically consists a logger and a checker, as I already said in the abstract. So the second paper where the COVID had impacted the form of the era of 2020 in educational stream, where in-person classes were suddenly replaced with a virtual environment and the actions of everything getting online, like the classes, exams, assignments, notes, and remote invigilation faced many problems with the both professors, students, and the users. So language models are assigned with the probability of a series of words. Updated neural network based LMs are connected with a huge model architecture and trained on a massive data set. An end-to-end email is encryption by either MIME, that is multi-purpose internet mail extension, or OpenPGP, that is open pretty good privacy services or structures. MIME is commonly used by government, whereas OpenPGP is used by technical communities. Some of the email encryption attacks are eFail MG attacks, eFail DE attacks, reply attacks. Reply attacks. Advanced captcha is an advanced captcha generation system which can defend against the captcha solver of deep learning. Captcha is said to confirm whether the user is human or an automated machine. The test was invented to improve the security of websites and online application. Interestingly, sorry, deep learning models are vulnerable to adversarial perturbation. which directs the classifier to predict an incorrect label for an image. On the other hand, it also provides an inspiration to defend against the modern attacks. In a traditional cryptographic protocol, user authentication is been verified by a trusted third-party author, such as a certification authority. So, in an IoT device, certification cannot be updated easily. So, there will be a number of problems related to the updation of the IoT devices. IoT devices can be also passed through the PIN code or password. Let's go to the descriptions of the each and every paper. Let's go to the first paper, Crylogger. Crylogger is an open source, as I said, Crylogger is an open source tool which helps us detect crypto misuse dynamically. It is mainly implemented on Android application. What Crylogger does is it overgoes the machines with a set of 26 cryptographic rules. By comparing it with other applications, it is found that the Crylogger found the best hidden unknown misuses that this other couldn't find. It consists of a logger and checker. The logger extends the uses of the cryptographic level, whereas the checker analyzes the logs in the offline mode. Large language models memories and leak individual training examples. A simple and quick approach for updating sequence from a large model's training set that relies on the black box query access. Training examples do not have significantly smaller losses on average than test examples. Specific worst case scenarios are memorized. The entire name, phone book, fax number, and email of the persons is in our most evidence sensitive attack. We examine model string and string frequency affect memory and therefore how different attacks can affect the different types of data collected. Now let's talk about the reply attacks. An overview of EFL mitigation is been explained and presented different variants of reply attack. A method is been implemented by constructing a description context DC from the base of the source code of an email to prevent EFL DE and reply attacks. The solution doesn't weaken the uses of MIME and PGP. It also found that a patch for the popular Ngmail Open PGP plugin. An adaptive, practical, high usability adversarial capture generation is being discovered to fight against ML-based capture solving attacks. Uh, the first was the first security framework for cyborg security in computational analysis that supports adversarial change and production of the user to device communication, where the user is an active participant in the protocol execution. The first computational study of the passkey for Bluetooth EDR and the secure connection or simple pairing. Now, let's summarize the topics. In the Crylogger paper, one of the most secure tool called cryptograph, which is also a static tool to detect crypto misuses. Um, so this is the schematic diagram of the keylogger where the online mode, the upper mode is the online and the outdoor mode is the offline mode. Where online mode is been connected to internet and the libraries have been updated. And in the offline mode, the the keylogger is run for its checking. The second research paper was regarding the response taken to the safe from COVID-19 with no effects present on education. During pandemic, most of the education IT industry shifted from online mode to offline mode with remote learning process. The problem of evaluating a student performance became a challenge to the board. Many institutions opt for online protective services to administer remote examination. This paper explores about the security and privacy perception of the students while examination protected by an automated protractor. So these are the extensions which were found by the author. Like there are one, two, three, seven number of softwares which uses like a permission access of active tab, all URLs, clipboard write, context menus, desktop captures, download, geolocation, history, power, proxy, storage, system CPU, tabs, and a number of things. Protector is the only software which required all permission access to the software. Most of the software asks the permission for desktop capture, system display, and tabs details. There was a huge growth and demand of online protected during the pandemic. 83% of the users shared negative reviews on the programming. The monitoring software and extensions were examined, and the list of permissions were drawn. Research paper 4 was regarding the extraction of large number of massive data. The large scale of data were extracted from LLMs of the generate fluent natural language and can be applied to different number of tasks. Overfitting of the overfitting of the training error is less than the test error, and overfitting model memorizes the training values. Here is the diagram that evaluates the training data extraction attacks, where the model goes over the LM GP2 process, and 2000 LM generations are being generated, sorted generation, then deduplicated, then it are evaluated, and the top 100 files are been taken, and memorization is been checked. Next, research paper 4 has many new findings in the fragments of the secure email ecosystem. The author found one of the first generic countermeasure against the email FD attacks and reply attacks. The countermeasure was checked at the decryption context, including MIMT and SMTP header structure. Here, the example of an email context where Alice is trying to send an email to the uh, Bob and Carol, and waiting for a reply. Here at the bottom, an attacker is trying to steal the information with coming in respect to between the Alice and Bob and Carol, where where the attacker uses the axe and the axe as the medium of transferring the data with collecting the data for himself too. This paper covered the SMTP and MIMM context of an email, whereas the part from the formats are been format like CMS or OpenGPE. To protect against the board's automation and automated tool, the author introduced an advanced captcha to defend against the captcha solvers of deep learning. An advanced captcha can be served as a key enabler for providing guidelines and practicing robust captcha for developers and users. He also tested with adversarial captcha on e-commerce platform with large-scale dataset. Is workflow of the advanced captcha, where the training the substitute the solving model in an end-to-end model structure with the mixed number of trading data, which performs generating adversarial captcha on deployed captchas. Then the adversarial captchas are being queried the attack model, where high risk of captcha users is selected, and the answers are being collected and find the answers are been find the tuning the substitution solving model, where it is where the query of the data is fixed and maintain accuracy in the training model. Now here the tap and ghost option is there. Attack is there, where the attacker just taps the other person's device and get the whole information. One of the four possibilities of user compromises are comp user, initial user, comp responder user, comp user initiator, comp responder. These are the some of the four possibilities of user gaining an access to the different device. The red line indicates the action from one person to another. Discussion. Due to the improvised sizing algorithm, it can generate false positive alarms may be generated on correct calls to crypto AS. The alarms are in addition to rows raised on the non-security sections of the apps. This makes a huge number of applications difficult to examine. Some static techniques produce a large number of false negative. Our findings suggested that the students understand their educational institutes are struggling to maintain the safety protocols while maintaining academic rigor, as evidenced by the fact that a number of proportions of the respondents believe that online protracting is reasonable trade-off between personal privacy and exam integrity. The attackers are implemented in a black box. There are improved techniques for extraction of the memorized data, including the attacks and the implementation. Large models memorize the more data, getting a large volume of data and training it efficiently with the work model accurately. One of the paper described about the research grounded by the authors. Here the SMTP and MIMB context are been served. Decryption context are been applicable for others than the mail, like the documentation encryption in MS Office, PDF, XML, and OpenGPE. In advanced capture paper to defend attack against the attackers, if the phase of the deployment and evaluation are successful, then the only we can move to the more convincing model to be established. High confidence attacks tested to the tool on different application and website, which resulted into reasonable result under actual attacks. The advanced capture can be similarly elaborated on other captures like audio and image. Replacing the model to the target scheme may recognize the goal establishment. This can presently complement the deep learning capture solver, but in future may conflict with the arrive soon. Whereas Session identifier just covers a partial transcription due to the lightweight of the cryptographic algorithm used on IoT device. Adversarial information interfaces is quickly and easily accessible